Hey everyone, I'm Devin. This is Devin Talks Tabletop, your friendly neighborhood YouTube channel where the games are made up and what I say doesn't matter. I think that was my intro back when I made videos. So it's been a while. I missed you guys. Here today to talk a little bit more about Six Siege. So in front of you I have the massive playmat that hosts both the board, which is interchangeable if you have multiple maps, which I do, and then also all of the slots where different components and your individual operator boards will go as well. So I've got this big mat in front of you. You got Legion, you got Smoke, and then you got IQ featured up there, and all of the Mythic and Ubisoft logos and styling as well. Six Siege, the board game. Let's jump into this. I've got the deluxe box here, the base box here, and as I've already mentioned, the play mat in front of you. This is going to be a little bit of a reboxing. I've seen backers start to get their copies, people starting to paint their minis, people sharing their first impressions or their gameplay reviews. I'm really excited that backers finally have a chance to play this. I, of course, had the privilege of looking at the prototype prior to the campaign even launching, so I had an understanding of what I was getting into and why I wanted to back the game. Some backers just did it on promise, though. They didn't have the opportunity to look at the prototype, and maybe they didn't have the time and opportunity to play the TTS demo, whether that was just for the sake of time or for the sake of convenience or computing power. TTS is not the most enjoyable place to play games. So some people are getting this into their hands for the very first time in terms of being able to actually play it. I've played it before, I know that I like it, so this is going to be more of a chance for me to rekindle that love that I had when I played it for the very first time. So I'm excited to get this to the table. I've had a lot of heavy two-player asymmetric games come in recently, and now that my brother's in town, I have a perfect person to play them with. So this is going to be a little bit of a reboxing video. I'm going to show you how I've organized this. I think everyone is going to have their different preferences, but I'm always in favor of consolidating the fewest amount of boxes possible. It would have been awesome to get to just this, but there's simply too much content, and so I can't do that unless I get rid of the vacuum tray molded miniature trays, and I am not ready to do that yet. If I find a different solution, or maybe at one point someone creates an organizer that allows me to safely get all of the miniatures into different storage, I'll do that, but for now I shall suffer through the spatial pain that is vacuum trays, which keep your minis protected, so there is that. All right, I'm gonna unbox this one first and show you how I've reboxed it. This is the base box game, so if you have the Trooper Pledge, the Smooth Operator Pledge, if you have anything that includes the base game of Six Siege, you have this box here. Pretty hefty box. I've got the laser in here, which, as you can see, I effectively, at one point, eventually, in the unboxing video, figured out how to get the batteries in there appropriately. So I've got the base set of rules. I've got the massive diorama with all of the operators. So this shows all of the attackers from the base game, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. And then on the back side, you have all of the defenders with the same impact or the same stratification from base from year 1 to year 5 as well. So this massive diorama is in here as well with the rule book. Currently, I have the alternate art styles for all of the different art pieces that came with the game. I went through this in my unboxing, which you can check out. I may get rid of that at some point. I just haven't decided if I'm going to get rid of it. In here, I have all of the stickering that I need to do, and then all of the year 1 through 5 and the alternate dual skin. So these are all of like the individual rules, component lists, and stuff from those miniature boxes. I've thrown all of those away because I was able to fit everything into this box from the additional years. So I have all of the stickers and rules that go along with that here. I have the letter. I have, again, different, this is a player reference sheet, which is really great. You've got all your operator actions, You've got different gadgets and stuff on both defense and attack. So a pretty robust reference sheet here that you can use. You know, if one person is learning how to play, maybe they can have both of them in front of them and just flip them to the alternate sides, or each player gets their own reference. And then I've got kind of what shows you how to maneuver both your 3D terrain as well as the stickers that go on these to mark off your gadgets. So I've got all of the stickerings here from the main sheet. I've got all of the individual rule sets here from the different map packs and your mission guide, which kind of dictates the different ways that you can play. So all of the paper stuff is right here that can allow you to access the game. I have, you know, deconstructed the dice tray. It's, you know, one of those kind of satisfying little corner clasps. Gives you a pretty deep well of places to roll your dice. And because there's not too many dice, you don't need a huge dice tray, but that sits in there as well. And then finally underneath that, I have the dual-sided 2-map board that comes with the base game. All of that on top of the first set of minis. So that all fits in there. It doesn't have any box lift on it at all because I haven't stuffed it to the gills. And like I said, I currently have not gotten rid of any of these cardboard housed vacuum tray organizers. So as you can see, you have the operators there. I've got the dice cubes. I've got the dice bag there. I've got a bunch of small component pieces, and then I've got tactical inventory. All of that is loaded into these bottom cardboard troughs there. And on top of that lies this first vacuum set. So I'm gonna open this up. Hopefully not too loud. So all of this is representative of the starting base operators. So you've got all of your attackers in the blue, all of your defenders in the orange, and then you have got the bombs and the hostages depending on what mode you're playing, as well as all of the ringlets which can snap underneath your operators. Obviously you wouldn't put orange on this, but this does a good job of, if you put the stickers on the outside, you can know the names of certain operators if you're not as familiar with the game from the video game perspective or the lore of 6 Siege. Some additional components as well as the droid and your first player marker, which is in the emblem or icon of the 6 Siege board game logo. So this is one full tray that's slotted in here. Again, I have not decided to rid myself of these cardboard housings and these vacuum trays, but eventually I might do so to where maybe I can fit everything into this larger box. As I mentioned, you've got all of the defender and all of the attacker ones. If you saw underneath there for a brief moment, there was the line of sight ruler, which I don't need as much because I've got this laser pointer version. Tactical inventory kind of signals how much of something you're still able to use. And then there are some miscellaneous components in there. So everything you need to play the game is in here. I don't have anything that's essential really shoved over there except for some of the cardboard / paper or plastic components that comprise the Deluxe packing. So there is some stuff in that, but I'm kind of viewing this in the type of game that I would want to live on my table for an entire day if I'm playing it, because I will likely want to run it back with whoever my opponent is. I want to play multiple games. And if I want to play multiple games, I kind of want access to all of the content so I can swap out maps if we want to, and swap out operators. So I'm okay that there's a little bit of overlap in terms of essential components in both boxes, because I will probably have both boxes open and available at all times anyways. It doesn't really make sense not to, again, unless I consolidate all the way down to one box, which could happen in the future. So right now that's the base box, that's everything that's in there, which brings us to this behemoth, which I shall open in front of you. Oh, now this one does have a little bit of lift lid or box lift on it, specifically because I have put Does that go like that? That goes like that. I put the 3D terrain in here. Now the 3D terrain was interesting insofar as it didn't fit with its cardboard boxing. It was just a little bit too wide in its dimensions to fit inside of here with its cardboard housing. So I put it on top. Now if you haven't seen any of these, 3D pieces, they're pretty cool. I'll, show some to the camera. You got like a pool table there. You got like a couch here. So you can, create a lot of obstacles to get in the way of super fun death time. But yeah, so I decided that I could fit it in there if I took it out of the cardboard housing, and I would rather not have a loose cardboard box like this somewhere in my collection. So I got rid of that. Now there are 2 of these, I believe. I think the bottom is cardboard trough. So there are 2 of these that are a much thicker dual, layered version of what you saw whenever I had the base box open. So I'm going to open all of this up and get up a little bit so that I can show it more effectively on the top cam. Alrighty, so I've got, a year here and then a bunch of components underneath. So this year has got the same player boards as the base box did, and then underneath the plastic lid, all of the operators and a lot of pieces. Now I've got some cardboard pieces here, cardboard tokens that are essential to the game, but I have got those somewhat, replaced by all of these plastic component pieces. So these all supplant the need for those cardboard tokens. I've kept them because I haven't decided how many of these cardboard pieces I'll want to replace, because some tokens look good and I think some of the plastic tokens I think look nice, and then just the nature of printing on fully plastic tokens mean that sometimes I think the resolution of the visuals is a little bit washed out, whereas it's crisper and more clean from a cardboard perspective. Now for certain pieces I think it looks great, sharp enough, but sometimes the resolution I think is just a little dim, which I'm not bugged by. I have the same thing with some of my Marvel United plastic tokens and stuff. I think it's just hard to get plastic tokens that work 100%. So let me see if I can get this locked away in here. So that was like year 1, year 2, maybe also year 3. So that comes underneath the 3D terrain, and then we've got another box here which I'm going to bring out, and once again more operators from different years. Underneath them you've got all of their slots, their little bases where they get punched into. These are all of the pieces for cardboard doors and stuff. I also have a little bit of lift lid at the bottom of the box, which I'll explain in a moment. But for right now, have more of the same underneath. The last one was a basic token storage, and this is another set of the years of the operators, as well as some alternate skins. So Kavera, Sledge, looking very different visually from what they might look like regularly. So I'm going to put all of them back and then kind of show you the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the deluxe box. So those are 2 relatively beefy storage trays that go underneath here. And then under here I have all of these maps, and I think in addition to the maps, I think I also have the cardboard trays I'm not using, maybe. Let me see if I can let this fall out. So yeah, so under here I have all of the cardboard pieces that I am not going to punch and use. I'm just leaving them under there. I think I also have some of them underneath the base box. So here they just have a space to exist in case I need them, in case I lose some of the plastic pieces. And then I have all of my other 3 double-sided map packs that sit underneath. So then after that, it's just those map packs, which I think that's the correct bottom because I have issues with that. This slides down. And if you're wondering, you know, how all of this organizes, it organizes it by year. So if you got this box and if you got a bunch of the extra operators and stuff, you can pretty easily organize all of that. So see, this kind of barely fits, and it wouldn't fit at all with the cardboard. So then I'm able to fit that there. It does, of course, have box lid because it was fully loaded. But then that gets everything into those two boxes. Now I have been able to throw away all of the individual years. You know, there wasn't really any packing other than just shrink wrapping on the exterior of the map packs and stuff. But everything is removed minus what's in these two boxes, which I'm happy with. I may eventually try to get some type of mini organizer or protector that can slot all of these operators in a more spatially efficient manner. I still wonder if it, you know, I think it's conceivable to fit everything into this box, even if it's maybe got some lid lift, but with the vacuum trays, it's impossible. There's too much plastic space used. I'm okay with that right now because it houses my minis safely. So until I figure out an alternative solution that I prefer, this is what I've got. So this is the Reboxing for 6 Siege. I will be playing this soon with my brother, and I cannot wait to give you guys my first impressions of the, you know, post-production version of the game. I really do like the implementation that is, you know, etched in my memory, and I'm hoping that this real-life version does it justice. If you guys have any thoughts, if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'm curious if any of you are also backers of the game, what you think of it. If you have any organizational woes or comments, curious to hear about them. If you have consolidated this better than me, I'd love to know how you did it and what you think of that solution. I have done kind of like a first pass organization on this, and I'm happy with it for right now, but it definitely could be better. So if you've got thoughts, send them my way. All right, I hope you guys have a good one. I look forward to hearing from you next and filming videos, which I do sometimes, every now and then, when the time is right. When the time is right. See you guys. Bye.